What went through your mind when you reflect on that memorial, sitting in that stadium Sunday?
Well, thanks so much for having me. This is a real honor to talk about a very good man and a good friend. Look, I'm a tough guy. I've got 7 kids, and I like to be strong, but it was a very emotional speech. It was a very emotional time for me. I think that obviously the most powerful thing that Erica Kirk did that day was forgive her husband's assassin. That is something that I think is hard for anyone to do, is to forgive anyone for stealing or lying to someone, but to forgive someone that brutally murdered your husband in front of everyone, in front of the whole world, is so powerful. And I really think that it answers back to all the claims that from the left and from these radicals that never actually listened to Charlie, never actually heard his words, and didn't care to, when they called them hateful and bigots and all this. Do hateful people forgive their enemies? I don't think so. And I would pose the question to anyone attacking the Kirks or Turning Point or any conservatives: have you forgiven anyone at this level? Have you forgiven anyone? It was so powerful, and I think that Erica is the perfect person to take over Turning Point.
Her faith clearly has carried her through this incredibly difficult, unimaginable time, really, for a mother and wife losing someone who you hold so close to your heart, the head of the household there. Caroline, you being a part of Turning Point USA, you would have seen glimpses of Charlie in his professional life and maybe personal as well. What was it like to attend this service for you?
So I had the honor of speaking to Charlie a few times as an ambassador for his organization, and every single time he was super kind, super thoughtful, and would always be the same person he was in front of everyone behind the scenes. And I think everyone who's a part of Turning Point USA would say the exact same thing. But to be at the memorial, it was sobering and it was somber. But it was also the most unforgettable day of my life. There was not a dry eye in the place. We were all bawling, but I don't think it was only because we're mourning the loss of our friend, of someone we look up to, of someone that was truly an American hero, a martyr for the Christian faith, but also because the Holy Spirit had absolutely wrecked that place. I mean, we felt the Lord in that room, and I've talked to so many of my friends that weren't able to attend. They were watching online, and they felt the same thing at home. Charlie's life has sparked a movement, and now we're seeing a revival break out in our nation. And while I know that any of us would trade what went on at the memorial to have Charlie back, we're so thankful for how God is using what the enemy meant for evil, and he's turning it for good.
Yeah, speaking of Turning Point USA, moving forward, something that was mentioned many times that Charlie Kirk would have wanted, Erica Kirk and so many others still carrying that out and carrying it forward. Speaking of, Terry, Turning Point USA is speaking out against the conversation that we just had, the move to bring back Jimmy Kimmel's late night show. In a post on X, Turning Point spokesman and executive producer of Kirk's podcast wrote, quote, "Disney and ABC caving and allowing Kimmel back on the air is not surprising, but it's their mistake to make. Nexstar and Sinclair do not have to make the same choice." Sinclair has already publicly spoke out saying that he will not be put on their local affiliate airwaves at this time. We have not heard of Nexstar's move yet. What are your thoughts on this on this whole ordeal? He was suspended indefinitely, Jimmy Kimmel, when really it was just a long weekend for him. They said they've had talks with him, Disney, ABC, but now he's returning to the airwaves tonight. Thoughts there, Terry?
Well, first of all, I support the First Amendment. However, the First Amendment doesn't guarantee you the right to broadcast airwaves. This was Jimmy Kimmel, I just want to say, is a disgusting man. He's pathetic. He's very sad. He tried to pin the blame of Charlie Kirk's murder on someone from the MAGA movement, the Make America Great Again movement, which feigns reality. I mean, it strains credulity at the least, at the finest. But the reality is that I run a multi-million-dollar organization. I have people around me all the time telling me, don't say this because we don't know if it's true or not. Jimmy Kimmel has a multi-million-dollar show. It's a billion-dollar enterprise at ABC, and he's out there spouting the most insane and hateful and destructive nonsense. I certainly hope that Nexstar and Sinclair refuse to ever air his show ever again. This guy deserves to be put to the dustbin of history. He's a terrible person. He's not even funny, but he doesn't deserve a show. He has no ratings. That was the right call to take him off the airways, and I don't know why the heck he's back on.
Information. truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.